What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to another review here at Thomas Opent. I'm gonna segue into one of my little English reviews that I like to do every now and then. Why? Because I feel like it, and you know what, it's my channel. I can do what I want. When I grow up, there will be a day everybody has to do things my way, which isn't true. Ha! Hungarian craft ale. Hungarian craft ale in the form of mad scientists' black lines. A black IPA. Honestly, it's 9% ABV. I would almost qualify this as a triple black IPA. I have this thing in my head, I know not everybody agrees, where I kind of feel like double IPA kind of ends at 8.5% ABV, and everything above that is sort of moving in towards that triple IPA thing. I kind of feel the same thing for a double black IPA. It's a gray area. I've seen triple IPAs that were 9% as well. I've seen double IPAs that were 9%. Like this one, it's sort of like in betweenish. But it is, however, some hopeful goodness. Stole that one from you, Matt. Thank you very much. Love that line. It doesn't say anything about the hops, I think, used, so we'll just see it's water, malted barley, hops, and yeast. It is, the best buy is 13 September of 2023. No idea when this was canned. I love it. I love it. I always laugh at breweries when they're all like, drink fresh. When did you can it? We're not going to tell you. How do I know if I'm drinking it fresh? That's not a, well, it's sort of like a little bit of a glip towards mad scientists, but it's towards all of those breweries that do that, you know, pull that stunt. I always feel you should be transparent about when you put it in the freaking can. Anyway, love the can art. It's a very typical mad scientist sort of like weird thing. There's some big boobies on there apparently. Never noticed that before. I like it. Looks good. The can does anyway. Not the boobies because they're drawn boobies. That would be weird. I love a good black IPA. I love a good black IPA that's actually still IPA-ish. I love it when they take a... So we're going to segue into this in a little bit. So this pours very black. This really pours very, very dark. It's got a bit of a fizzy head on it. I wonder how long that's going to last, but we'll see. But yeah, when you look at that, if you were to pour that as a mystery beer, you would think that that is like a porter or a stout. It has that sort of... Here underneath, it's still kind of like clear beer-ish. I can see a lot of red and brown hues. But when you look at it just like this, that... Actually, you know what it reminds me of? A very, very, very black lager. The way it poured, its viscosity, the way the head looks right now, it just screams like black lager vibes to me, like real black lager. It looks the part of a black ale. Does it smell the part of a black IPA? And that's the thing. Black IPAs, when they were the trend, a lot of breweries just were like, we want to jump on that bandwagon. What are we going to do? Do we have a black IPA recipe? Well, there's that talk about what is actually a black IPA. You can really go very deep into that. To me, it should be an IPA with roasted dark black malts, like chocolate malt, coffee malt, black malt, whatever you want. Make it an IPA. Now, there's plenty of breweries out there that were like, we don't have a decent IPA recipe that we want to use, but we do have like a nice little porter or stout, and let's just hop the fuck out of that. And then you get like stouts with very hoppy characters or porters with very hoppy characters. I want an IPA with roasted notes. That, I feel, is a black IPA. Shall we try and find out where this belongs? Let's go to the nose. It's not as expressive as I thought it could be. It's a little bit closed, but there is a big, big, big fruity component there. There is definitely that lemon zest, orange zest kind of thing, that juicy as well. There is a little bit, for me, honestly, the hops aren't on there, but I'm getting like a white fruit component. There's a sort of like a melon. I'm not talking watermelon, like I'm talking, well, are the melons that I'm talking about white fruit? It's like a melon component. There's a little bit of a grape component. There's a little bit of that sort of pear thing going on. It's definitely just a nice generic fruity blend. So it does blend. This is where my English blend. Now, beneath that, there's not a big in your face, and this is a positive, by the way, what I'm going to say right now. There's not like a big in your face chocolatey coffee, big on like that stout porter character thing. There's roasted barley, there's roasted malt in there. Absolutely freaking true. There is a hint of a licorice component, which I'm okay with. It definitely is the part, smells the part of a black IPA. It is a little bit muted in the nose, I will say. Yeah, very fruity. Lots of citrus. Lots of like sort of like an orange tangerine component, like that lemony melony thing. That Melanie, is that where the name Melanie comes from? Is that where the name Melanie comes from? Like a kid was born, and they looked at a kid, and the kid looks like a melon. It's a bit Melanie. Hey, we got a new name. Sorry, ADHD just kicked in, yo. Yeah, I like it. I like the nose. Soft licorice component, definitely a good roasty component. Very fruity. Not like a specific fruit, so I don't know what malts they use, but there's like the things that I mentioned earlier. I like it. Let's go and see what this does on the palate. Cheers, everybody. So, first of all, I definitely still think this is an IPA. On the palate, you get a little bit more pine and resin, especially in the finish. There's a good bitterness, and the bitterness is nicely balanced between the hoppy bitterness and the roasted bitterness, which means it does what it's supposed to do. It gives you the impression of a real black IPA. It's missing a bit of a punch. It's missing that 9% ABV kick. If this was like a mystery beer, I would have probably guessed this at 6, 6.5, maybe 7-ish. I just had, when I review, for those who follow my reviews, they mostly know, I do a session. I review 3 or 4 beers. This is the third one, and the one before this was a 6% blonde, farmhouse blonde. It has the same impact. Well, no, not the same. This is a bit more impactful because the 6% one came across like a 4.5%, which it wasn't. This one is coming across as like a 6 to 7% ABV. It doesn't have that 9% kick or mouthfeel to it. I like it. I like it a lot. The flavor components work. It's definitely a black IPA. It has that citrusy, slight piney, a little bit floral even. A little bit floral. It has all of the components that I would want from a black IPA. It just doesn't drink like a double black IPA. Maybe that's the issue here. I like it though. This is good shit. And with that little licorice note in there, like a sweet licorice thing, that roasted bitterness, there's nothing monumentally like coffee or chocolate in there. It's all like, yeah, you get a little bit of that sort of coffee, wet coffee grind thing, that sort of vibe. I get that nice roasted bitterness of it. You still get that malty component. It has that malty sweetness, but nothing that makes you think like, yeah, they just took a stout recipe and hopped it the fuck up. This does drink like an IPA, which is something I really appreciate in my black IPAs. So kudos to that mad scientist. Personally, I would have loved as a double black, borderline triple black IPA, I would have wanted a bit more impactfulness. I would have liked a little bit more oomph to it. But other than that, it's absolutely nice. I like it. I'm gonna be brutally honest. It's not like the best mind-blowing black IPA that I ever had, but it's good. It says here something served with, and then you see grilled meat, like a steak, or like that's the yeah. You know what? This, because of that bitterness, that refreshing quality, that citrusy note to it, that sort of, I'm gonna have to take my time with this one. So when you read this on Untapped, I might go in a little bit deeper because I wouldn't be surprised if I get a little bit more notes when I get a little bit more brain time with it. But this would work great with like a nice fatty roasted steak from a grilled steak from the barbecue. So that roast works with the smoky flavors of the charcoal steak. The citrusy notes, the refreshing notes, the bitterness, it all helps cutting through the fatty notes of like a big juicy marbled steak. You know, that would work well. Um, and because if you have it like with a big steak and a big roasted potato, maybe something like that, you can get something awesome out of that. You can get something really, really great because that will work great. Because of that 9% ABV, you get like everything in your stomach to absorb all those alcohol, that alcohol, and then it would work amazingly well. I like this beer. It's very drinkable, very crushable, which is kind of dangerous, but it's good stuff. It's good stuff. That's it for this review. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you really liked it, hit that subscribe button. In the subscription box below, you will find links to all of my social media, a link to the Dutch Beer Collective, and a link to mysterybeer.nl. Go check out the reviews of my buddies in the Dutch Beer Collective. We got Remy, we got Douglas, we got Gerben. Please subscribe to their channels as well, if you wouldn't mind. Leave some comments, and I'll see all you guys in another review soon. Cheers.